began as a clay artist, as a potter in school. So I was getting my bachelor's degree at Tennessee Tech, and they have an art program there. And I was going through all the motions of getting my clay degree or my ceramics degree, and I had to take an elective in order to fulfill my requirements. And so they had glass blowing, and so I took the elective, and I fell in love with the material.
Me and a friend we were street luging in this really small town called Smithville, Tennessee. We got lost, and then we saw this handmade sign, so we decided to check it out, and it was the Appalachian Center for Craft, which is a satellite campus of TTU. And so someone gave us a tour. This was the first time I ever saw glass, and that was it. So I switched majors and started completely over. I had about 2 semesters left to get the engineering degree, and I just stopped. And 8 years of school, not a good decision.
At the previous location, I had more of a sculptural focus on my work, and that was around 2008 when everything kind of went bad with the economy, and so not much was really happening. But the only thing that would make money is where I would invite the public in, and they could actually make their own objects here, or the glass ornament.
As soon as you take a gather or you start a piece, everything goes away. It's all your problems melted. All that matters is that moment, a little dance with the glass, and so it's I guess in a way it's almost drug-like, where if I'm having a bad day, I just start making work and takes all my worries out.
So around Christmas, we really, would do advertising. Come in and blow your own glass ornament, and it was madhouse. Like people just from October to December 23rd was nothing but that, and that's pretty obvious on what's going to make the money. So we just kind of did it for Christmas, and we would do it when people knew that we did it. They said, "Hey, we want to come down and blow an ornament." Yeah, sure, come down. But then, like I said, once things in 08 tanked, we tried to struggle with different ways of trying to make the studio go, but none of them really worked. And I was actually really close, about 2 months of just closing the shop because nothing really worked. And around that time, within that 3 months, October started coming in, and we started getting the ornaments. And I was like, okay, this is how we're going to do it. We have to, if I'm gonna stain this material somehow, I've got to make money to do it. So this is how we do it. So this spot opened up in downtown, and right in the middle of everything. So I figured there would always be some good traffic there, and it was a good place to kind of test my theory to see if this was a real option. So we moved down here, and we kind of formed the whole studio around the ornament. So we have smaller space, there's smaller equipment. It's a little bit more efficient and leaner business model than I had previously.
It's very laid back, very family style. We're very close, but once the glass begins, once we start the process, it turns pretty intense. Not much room for error, no excuses. If you mess up, there's no accidents. So it's definitely one of the most stressful environments I've ever experienced. But somehow at the same time, it's still one of the most fun as well.
Process of making an ornament with somebody is we have our palette of colors that they look at first. And they look at that and they say, okay, I want that color, mix with that color. Great. So we mix up the colors and then we actually extract the glass out of the furnace on the blowpipe. Then we roll through the colors, we apply the colors that they've chosen, and then we give the blowpipe to the participant. They go over to the glory hole and they actually get to melt the glass in and make it all homogeneous and hot. Then we come on back to the bench, we hook up a rubber hose to the blowpipe, and we give the other end of the hose to the participant, and then they just blow on that tube. And that pressure is translated down into the pipe and it inflates. And then you have your put the hook on it, and we put it into an oven. Now it stays in the oven overnight. It has to anneal, or it has to slowly cool to get all the working stress out of the glass. If we were just leaving the ornament in the open air, it would eventually crack. Glass is very susceptible to thermal shock, so it needs to slowly come down to room temperature from 2,000 degrees. Every single person who discovers this material through me, when I look at them, they're so enamored and just captivated by the material. I get to see myself when I started. That's what I really like about it, actually. It's because right now, I mean, I'm at the point where the material doesn't really hold, it holds a specialness, or I still like the material, but you know, I've done it for like close to 17 years now, and it's just kind of, you know, I'm over the whole being captivated by it usually. So when I see somebody else do it, it gives me a little nostalgia, and I was like, yeah, that's really cool. I remember that, and so it helps me just kind of appreciate the material a lot more, and that's what I like most about it.
Well, it's kind of like serving, except people are happy. You know, they're not angry that their food's late. They're here by choice and happy. So those short moments with the people, and sometimes it's curious, sometimes it's, you know, they're just like me, so it's a fun little moment, and then other times I'm just bewildered at people.
Whenever there's time for me to, whenever there's downtime, I usually try to work on designs that I just have in my head. And that's the other good thing about the ornament thing, is it provides me time to make my own work when I want to, because the ornaments pay for everything.
What would you say the most difficult thing about glass blowing is?
All of it. Like this, it takes a while to even get to where you can take a decent gather, you know, and like you can't sell a gather, it's just a blob, but probably just wrapping your brain around it, really. It's like playing chess with yourself. You're always going to lose, but you always win because you learn that split-second new technique to make it a better craft.
I'm looking at another town right now to build another shop there. It's a touristy little town in Colorado, so it's that's the next step. If I have any at all, I'm just kind of toying with the idea because I know the potential's there. But like I said, all these things have to come into play. Like when I go there, I have to make sure I can get the right power, the right gas. You know, where the area I'm looking is a historical district, so there's a lot of restrictions on there on like what you can and can't do to the building. So